Okay, here we go. One of my favorites, potato pancakes. All right, start out with about a dozen potatoes. You want to peel them and cut them into uniform pieces. Now, when you boil them, it's very important not to let the boiling water roll. In other words, don't boil them uh, in a rolling boil. Okay, what I do is I bring the water to a boil with the potatoes in the pot, turn the stove off, and cover the pot with a tight lid and let it sit for 10 minutes. And then cool the potatoes off, and you're ready to go. That's it. Start them cooking a little bit. You don't want to use raw potatoes. If you use raw potatoes to make the pancakes, it's a real pain. You have to sit there for a long time. See, this way they're halfway cooked. And basically, what you're doing is you're just browning them. You know, the heat from the frying pan gives it a little boost to finish them from cooking, but it's mostly to brown them. So they're pretty much already cooked. All right, now I'm cutting them up into uniform pieces. They're kind of big pieces. Um, that was about, I would say, maybe 4 pounds of potatoes. I'm not sure exactly how many it is, um, but it's going to end up with about 30 potato pancakes. You're going to get a lot of pancakes out of this. Okay, so now I have the water on the stove and it's boiling, and I'm going to add the potatoes to the water. Well, it wasn't actually boiling 100%, but it was hot. Um, as you can see, I don't even rinse them off. The water is going to clean them, after you peel them. A lot of people, wash the potatoes off, but you don't even need to. Okay, now here's what you do. I have a half of a large onion, and what I'm doing is I'm grating the onion to get it as small as possible. You don't want big chunks of onion in there or big chunks of anything. Okay, so that's a half an onion. Here's the pieces that wouldn't go through the grater. I'm going to chop them up small. Then I'm going to add some chives out of my greenhouse and some parsley. Now, again, you chop them up small, put them in there. With parsley, if you do what I just did there, if you start out with a small little ball, you'll end up with smaller pieces than if you try to chop the parsley just loose. All right, here come the potatoes. They've already sat for 10 minutes. I put them in cold water. They're done. Now, what you want to do is you want to dry the potatoes as you're grating them. You don't want to have any water added to it. All right, here goes, for that amount of potatoes, here goes 4 eggs. Um, I'm going to add about 2 teaspoons of salt, about maybe 1 teaspoon of pepper. Here goes 2 cups of milk. Now, there was just a little bit of milk left in the thing, so I added it in there. It's no big deal. It's just a little bit. Okay, now to this I'm going to add 1 cup of flour, all-purpose flour. And then 2 teaspoons of salt, almost 1 full teaspoon of pepper, and just a little bit of garlic, granulated garlic, just a little bit. You don't want the garlic to over flavor anything in the potato pancakes. I like to taste the potato, the onion, that's what it's all about. All right, so you mix all that together. Now I'm going to add the spices. There's the salt. There goes the pepper. I found this cool pepper grinder thing. And there's a little bit of garlic. Okay, now you pour that over the potatoes and then just mix it. Don't over mix it. Just mix it enough to where it's mixed in. All right, there we go. I tasted it right there. Make sure you have enough salt. Okay, now when you fry them, you do need quite a bit of oil. That's what browns them. is the oil. Oh, by the way, if you're making hash browns, don't add the butter and the milk and the eggs and all that. Don't add that. Just take those potatoes, shred them, and put them into that oil right there. And the hash browns are beautiful, man. They're perfect. You could add a little bit of salt to them. Okay, look. See the oil in there? That's how much you need. If you're making hash browns, you have to add a little bit more oil because it's going to absorb all of them, that oil. Okay, now what that is it's margarine and vegetable oil, about half and half. Okay, now just put the pancakes in, a little bit, the size, you have to regulate. If you want bigger ones, then you put big ones in. It's up to you, whatever you want. What I'm going to do is I'm going to freeze these. And, man, this is one of my favorite comfort foods right here. These things are dynamite. Now, I'm using 2 frying pans there. I kind of goofed, and you can't see the other frying pan. All right, there you go. That's all you got to do. Look at that. Nothing to it. Now, listen, don't flip them until they turn brown because it'll fall apart. You have to let the flour and the egg, you got to let the flour and the egg do their thing. Okay, so there they are, nice and brown. Look at that, man, a whole plate of those things. Oh, they're so good. Oh, man. So I serve them with a little bit of applesauce and sour cream. And I got to tell you, I took some meat out of the freezer tonight, but I put it back in because I'm just going to eat potato pancakes. And the bad part was I was losing weight, but tough. So anyway, here you go. Some applesauce, sour cream, and a little bit of cinnamon on the applesauce. There you go. That's it. Oh, man. Whew. Listen, I got to tell you, you might find this somewhere else around town, but you're not going to find it any better than this right here. Okay, I'm going to eat. See ya.